Hello everyone, Infinite Movie Recaps here. Today, I will explain the American-South Korean action fantasy film called Devour. There will be spoilers ahead. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy. The movie begins with a female narrator. She explains that although the world believes that the world of dragons has passed away, it has only started anew. Every 500 years, a woman with the supernatural ability to turn a serpent into a mighty dragon is born. A good serpent is expected to use its powers to protect the universe, but a bad one would use its powers to destroy the world. In the present day, the police seal off an area that appears to have been destroyed by an unknown creature. A nameless resident warns the officers about an imminent danger. He says a beast has been awakened. Ethan Kendrick, a reporter, arrives at the scene and attempts to interrogate the officers about the incident. The officers are, however, hostile and ask him to leave. Just as he is about to leave, the officers discover something in the sand, catching Ethan's attention. In the sand, the scale of a mysterious life form is discovered, triggering a memory. When Ethan returns to his office, he believes the scale has something to do with him. He pulls out a pendant and recalls an incident 15 years ago. 15 years ago, a young Ethan and his father visited an antique shop where his father intended to sell an ancient dagger to the shop owner, a mysterious man named Jack. In the meantime, Ethan discovers a strange chest that opens suddenly. As the chest opens, a bright light emits from the trunk. Suddenly, Jack pretends to suffer a heart attack and asks Ethan's father to hurry to the next shop to get help, offering $1,000 for his dagger instead of the initial $10. As he hurries off, Jack begins to explain what Ethan has discovered. Jack explains that the light from the box is the scale of an imuji, a creature from Korean legend with the power to turn into a dragon. The imujis were serpents, and every 500 years, an imuji is rewarded with the ability to turn into a mighty dragon. These serpents are given the Yuyu-ju, a being born with the power to transform an imuji, chosen by heaven, into a celestial dragon. However, a corrupt imuji known as Buraki wanted the Yuyu-ju for itself. In 1507 Korea, followers of Buraki sought to retrieve Yuyu-ju. Still, the Celestials decided to hide Yuyu-ju on Earth to prevent Buraki and his followers from possessing it. Haram and his master Bo-chun were charged with protecting the Yuyu-ju. However, Buraki knew where to find it. Yuyu-ju was born to the wife of Lord Yoon in Korea, but she passed away after giving birth to a baby girl. The baby was born with a mark on her shoulders. Not long after, Bo-chun visits Lord Yoon and explains that his daughter must be sacrificed to the imuji when she is 20 years old, the age at which she will begin to manifest the attributes of Yuyu-ju. The Morning Lord is not happy about the news from Bo-chun. Still, the old man insists that Yuyu-ju must be given to the chosen dragon when the time comes to prevent Buraki from possessing it. Lord Yoon is still unconvinced until Bo-chun tells him about the mark on his daughter's shoulder, the mark of the red dragon. Convinced, Lord Yoon allows Bo-chun to care for his daughter, Narin. At the same time, he also trains Haram to become a formidable warrior who would protect her. As the years went by, Haram and Narin fell in love with each other. After Haram completes his training, Bo-chun takes him to the good imuji who would possess the Yuyu-ju growing inside Narin. At that moment, Haram remembers Narin telling him about strange dreams she has been having. Subsequently, Bo-chun gives Haram the pendant we saw earlier and tells him it will protect him from all forms of danger. When Narin turned 20, Buraki and his followers invaded the village, killing almost everyone. When Narin is captured, Bo-chun and Haram save her and fight off Buraki's followers. However, Bo-chun is severely injured. Haram then leaves behind the pendant and asks Narin to run away with him. Buraki is enraged and pursues the lovers who jump to their deaths when they reach a cliff and have nowhere else to go. Jack then explains that since Narin died, Buraki was denied the chance to become a mighty dragon and had to wait another 500 years. Jack then reveals that he is the reincarnation of Bo-chun and Ethan is Haram's reincarnation. Jack charged young Ethan Kendrick with finding and guarding the new Yuyu-ju growing inside a girl named Sarah. Jack urges him to avoid making the same mistakes his previous incarnation made, as they have been given a new chance. To accomplish this, Jack gives Ethan the pendant that once belonged to Harem and tells him that Sarah Daniels, Yo-Yaju's reincarnation, can be found in Los Angeles. 15 years after this discovery, Ethan begins to search for Sarah after he realizes that the scales discovered by the officers imply that Buraki is in the city. He asks his colleague Bruce to help him search for Sarah, who has a dragon tattoo. Since Ethan doesn't remember her surname or any other helpful information to narrow Bruce's search, he is unable to find her. In the meantime, Sarah and her friend Brandy watch the news, where Ethan reports the incident at the sealed site. Brandy has a crush on Ethan and thinks he's cute. On the other hand, Sarah becomes nervous and hurries off, afraid that something terrible will happen to her. She tears up drawings of ancient Korean symbols and hangs them all over her wall, believing they will protect her. When Brandy visits her later that day, Sarah tells Brandy she's afraid something will happen to her. Still, Brandy thinks she's only overreacting because of what she saw on the news. Brandy suggests that they grab a drink together to make her feel better. At the bar, Sarah is uneasy and distracted. She decides to leave. Outside the bar, she's attacked by 3 men, but a mysterious man suddenly appears and fights them off. She then reports the incident to the police. Meanwhile, Buraki invades the city and kills some elephants at the zoo. The zookeeper reports the incident to the police. Still, they think he is delusional when he tells them he saw a giant snake. At that exact moment, a follower of Buraki attacks and wounds Jack. At the news agency, a reporter who had witnessed Sarah filing a report at the police station informs Ethan about Sarah. Ethan believes she is the Sarah he's looking for and leaves the office to inform Jack. However, when he arrives, he discovers that Buraki's henchman has attacked Jack, but it is only a dream. That night, Sarah also has a nightmare in which she is attacked by Buraki's zealots. When she wakes up, her dragon tattoo glows and she starts to feel sick. She calls for an ambulance and she's hospitalized. Soon after, Brandy tries to visit Sarah, but the nurse refuses to let her see Sarah since it is not visiting hours. Brandy returns home to pack some clothes and accessories for Sarah. At Sarah's house, unknown to Brandy and her boyfriend, Buraki and his henchman are there looking for Sarah. But when Buraki doesn't find her, it kills Brandy and her boyfriend. At the hospital, Sarah is locked in her cell and cries out to be freed. The officer guarding her room refused to let her out. The hospital staff thinks Sarah is delusional. At the office, Ethan learns of the incident at Sarah's house and hurries over. He discovers that Sarah is in the hospital and rushes over, but the receptionist doesn't allow him to see her. In the meantime, Mr. Belafonte is tied up and assumed to also be psychotic when he insists that he saw a giant snake. The psychiatrist offers to free him if he denies what he saw. Left with no choice, he agrees. Meanwhile, Ethan eventually sneaks into the hospital to find Sarah. She tells him she is afraid that something is coming for her, and Ethan reveals that she is being hunted by a serpent. The duo breaks out of the hospital when Buraki arrives and tears down the hospital, looking for Sarah. Buraki invades the city, intent on capturing Sarah. At this point, Ethan reveals her purpose and makes an attempt to protect her from Buraki. Buraki chases them across the city. Soon after, news of a giant serpent reached the United States Department of Defense. The Commander-in-Chief orders that the Army and the Air Force track down Buraki and eliminate it. While Ethan and Sarah are on a beach, they eventually regain memories of their previous lives and share a kiss. When capturing Sarah proves difficult for Buraki, it deploys its Aatrox army, which enters the city during the ensuing chase and engages the United States Army in combat. Despite casualties, Buraki's army outnumbered the human forces, and the city is invaded. Ethan and Sarah flee the city, only to be apprehended and taken to a terrifying fortress in the middle of nowhere. Ethan's pendant unleashes a power that decimates the Aatrox army as Buraki leaves the fortress to eat Sarah. Suddenly, the good Imuji, to whom the power in Sarah was to be given, he emerges from the fort and attacks Buraki. Ethan tries to stop Buraki from consuming Sarah but is knocked away. The two emojis face off, and after some time, Buraki snaps the good emoji's neck and claims victory. After that, Buraki approaches Sarah once more, who now offers herself voluntarily despite Ethan's pleas. She says this is the only way to stop Buraki from coming back. However, she instead gives her power to the good emoji, who absorbs it. Sarah passes out soon after, and Buraki is helpless as the good emoji transforms into the celestial dragon. The two beasts continue the struggle until the good emoji finally destroys Buraki with a fire breath. Ethan is devastated by Sarah's apparent death. She appears to him in a spirit form, and the celestial dragon allows her to speak to him. She assures him they will see each other again, and it withdraws Sarah into its body. The emoji then soars upward through the cloud layers to the heavens. Jack appears behind Ethan and informs him that he and Jack have been given a great honor to participate in this transformation and disappears. Ethan then murmurs a goodbye to Jack before walking into the desert. Let me know what you think about this movie in the comments below, and if you liked the video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.